This is a food fight. This is a family feud among far lefties. And I'll tell you, if there's ever an advertisement to leave New York, this is it.
Mamdani has been trying to moderate some of his positions.
Is he going to be able to compromise? Is he an ideologue or is he not?
I'm Lydia Moynihan, a financial correspondent for the New York Post, and each week, Post columnist and Fox Business correspondent Charlie Gasparino and I cut through the noise and talk about the biggest stories shaping business, tech, and politics. What's moving markets, what's happening in Silicon Valley, and what's driving decisions in Washington, D.C. No fluff and plenty of debate. Whether you're on Wall Street, Main Street, or just trying to keep up, this is where business, tech, and politics intersect. So we're going to do something a little different. We're going to start with winners and losers this week. Actually, Charlie, you had a very big winner.
I think the winners, in my view, is TikTok. There's going to be a new U.S. version of TikTok. And all the investors that invested early in ByteDance, which is the parent company, who are essentially allowed to roll all their shares into the new TikTok, and they're going to get a valuation of about $50 billion. So what we were talking about, KKR at the bottom, Susquehanna near the top, and Bill Ford's General Atlantic, all going to be invested in a new company that's going to be worth a hell of a lot of money. TikTok apparently makes tons of money. Obviously, lots of users.
It could have gone either way, right? If it had gotten banned, they would have been kind of screwed.
Here's what happened. We on the money, we've been reporting that Trump was threatening to throttle it, essentially let it go dark if Xi didn't give in to certain demands. And Xi being the Chinese president, yes. Xi Jinping.
That's what Xi said.
And then he did give in. And the big ask was that the new U.S. company has to take the Chinese algorithm and change it. He's allowing, and this was
okay, but there is a big question because the Chinese, if you look at what they're messaging, and I think this is in the FT, they basically framed it as in they actually aren't letting go of the algorithm.
Well,
so there's a lot of questions about that.
They're going to copy it essentially and change it.
But it's interesting. There is a discrepancy I'm seeing right now between the way that some outlets are reporting it and the way that outlets are reporting it.
It's semantics. Trust me.
Okay.
I'm pretty close to this
thing. So that algorithm.
And we were the first to report the algorithm change. I think we did that Monday.
Because that was really the big question.
And that's it.
We didn't want the CCP to continue to control. Promoting Mamdani content.
Here's what you're going to hear on Friday, because Xi and Trump are going to talk about this. They're going to say, yeah, we got all these investors involved. It comports with the law that says it should be banned without Chinese control. The Chinese are going to just own no more than 19.9% of it, which comports with the law, the ban law. The algorithm will be managed by Oracle. Larry Ellison, by the way, Larry Ellison's Oracle is not just going to manage the algorithm and keep it in its cloud, but it's also going to be an equity partner. So remember, he's benefiting two ways. So he's another winner on this. And that management of the algorithm is where things get interesting. And what I understand from people inside the White House, this is the deal. And they told me this, this is real time, unless something changes in the minutes before we go live with this thing. It's going to be in the U.S., new U.S. company where it safeguards the ability, whether it's theoretical or not. The Chinese say they don't use it to spy and to do nefarious things and pollute our youth with filth and garbage, that the anti-American stuff.
They don't allow TikTok in their own country.
Congress says it does. So whatever you got there, that's going to happen in the U.S. So there's going to be a retrofitting of that algorithm.
And a major concession, because that all along they did not want to give up that proprietary.
Now, just so you know, there's going to be a political angle here, too. I mean, Congress, there's China hawks in Congress that hate this thing. And they're powerful, and they're Republicans. The shares that are held by Susquehanna, by Bill Ford at General Atlantic, by KKR, they're going to essentially roll those into the new company. So they're going to own the company using their ByteDance shares. So at least on paper, this company is still going to look like it's majority Chinese owned. This is going to be really weird when this happens. So just pay attention to that.
Even though they're not Susquehanna, these are all U.S. based.
The White House is arguing because they're U.S. based, it satisfies the law.
Fascinating.
Anyway, that's where we are. Friday will be the due date, but we're.
But he extended again.
Well, we knew
with
that.
an executive order.
We knew that.
So now it's not going to get banned. So they don't really need to have it completely ironed out until December.
He did threaten to let it go dark. And I remember you and I, I'm going to hold you accountable here. You said there's no way he would do this. They're not letting it go dark. Trump did threaten. He said, I will.
Okay, but a threat, this is like the whole art of the deal. Like this isn't a new concept. Like,
yeah, but
there's lots of threats.
Well,
there's
wait
lots
a second.
of leverage and maneuvering.
But
that was maneuvering.
But he got what he wanted.
Right, but he wasn't going to go through with it.
Wait a second. He got what he wanted. He got the algo. And that is key to this whole thing.
Speaking of TikTok and algorithms, there actually is a tie-in to our next segment. We were joined today by Craig McCarthy, who runs the City Hall Bureau. He has all the insight about, obviously, how that played a role in Zohran Mamdani's initial rise to power. We talk about the endorsement from Hochul and the status of the mayoral race. We are here with our subject matter expert, Craig McCarthy, because there was kind of a shock endorsement where Kathy Hochul decided to not just back Mamdani in the mayoral election, but she seemed to kind of go all in. And some of the folks I was speaking with were given a heads up that she was going to make this endorsement, but were shocked that she really went so aggressive in her language of supporting Mamdani. What was behind that decision? What's the reaction that you're hearing from some of the folks you're speaking with?
Yeah, so there's a little bit of a different opinions here, right? There's she was holding her nose here. She's fairly considered a moderate Democrat here. She's not raised taxes on the rich. She's kind of pushed back against all of these things that kind of Mamdani stands for. Now, there's the other side of things that people thought, well, this was inevitable.
She hates Cuomo.
Right. She hates Cuomo.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the key. I mean, hating Cuomo is a key part of this race, right? Between Adams and Tish and all these other endorsements. But I mean, I think one of the main things here is talking about not just this election, it's next election, right? Mm-hmm. It's looking at her primary. If she has to go to the left in next election, then Elise Stefanik is going to use that as a hammer against her in the general.
She's afraid of being Mamdani'd herself.
Right. She's afraid of being the Cuomo to the Mamdani.
Where's the race right now? I mean, that's kind of the key question. I could have sworn I read somewhere last week, not in the Post because it wasn't true, that Adams was going to drop out, or what's going on?
Yeah, so I mean, listen, there's going to be these rumors, like Cuomo people talking behind scenes, kind of wheeling and dealing. But listen, it's been kind of stagnant for a bit, right? We've seen poll after poll after poll. We have Mamdani with 38 to like 44, 45%, and then you have Cuomo hovering in the 25 to 28. You have Curtis kind of 15 to 17, and you're going to have Eric who's 6 to 9%, depending on which poll comes out. I mean,
is he dropping?
He's not going to drop. He's not going to drop for now. I mean, listen, could that change in a week or two? He gets fed up. He doesn't want to do it. I mean, could Cuomo drop? Somebody said that to me this morning. Maybe he throws up his arms because if he drops, he wants to run again. You can't lose twice and then run again. But I think right now we have technically a 5-person race because Jim Walden, he dropped his campaign, but is still going to appear on the ballot.
Okay, I hadn't heard of him until he dropped out.
As you and most New Yorkers, that was the most coverage he got was when he tried to drop out. But I mean, even if Adams dropped out now, he would still be on the ballot. He can't get off the ballot. They've already been certified. They started printing him this week. That's not changing at this point. So regardless, even if he suspended his campaign right now, he's still going to carve off a few percentages of the vote.
The die is cast. Well, it seems like Kathy Hochul is sort of aware of exactly what you're outlining, which is why she decided to endorse Mamdani. But I'm curious because a lot of the folks, donors and supporters who I spoke with, Kathy Hochul had told them, I'm going to make this endorsement, but the reality is, Mamdani can't actually raise taxes. He can't do the things that he is promising that he's going to do. And that was sort of an attempt to maybe make them feel better about her coming endorsement. But I'm curious, is that the sense that you're getting, that she thinks, I can kind of control Mamdani. I can kind of prevent him from going too far to the left?
Yeah, I think
or does
that's
she care?
Well, I think this is the general kind of conversation that's going on, right? You had Hasty, he's now endorsing Mamdani. He's saying he's all for taxing the rich. Now, so that makes 2 of the 3 people that are behind closed doors all for raising taxes on the ultra wealthy or the wealthy here. So,
what do they consider wealthy?
I mean, that's kind of a moving target, right? It depends on what that. It's a real. Yeah, I mean, that's.
Barack Obama thought it was $250,000 a year.
I think regardless, you're in the 0.001%, Charlie.
I'm there.
No matter which way they slice it.
They're going to kill me. That's why I bought that house in Connecticut. Now,
I love this.
Here's what's interesting about what I find is like the business community, the quote unquote moderate Democrats are playing such a short-term game here, where they think they can control Mamdani, control the left. That's what Andrew Cuomo thought, and he never did. He gave in on fracking. Yeah. He gave in on taxes. He gave in on bail reform, which is a form of defunding the police in a certain way. But my point is, like, if the business community is sitting there saying, we can control them. The state can't. The state has to raise taxes. Guess what? Again, there are many mini Mamdanis in the assembly.
Yeah.
And he might be able to get some of this stuff through.
Right, and I think the thing we have to remember is that this isn't a normal Democrat party system. It's more of like an Occupy Wall Street. There's no actual center thing. Just in the sense of like how they kind of organize, where it's not like he is the de facto leader of the DSA of this far left kind of group now. So does that mean that he can control them? And I think that's kind of like what he'll be dealing with too, right? He's going to have to make some compromises. He's going to work through, he's going to have the progressives, the Bradlanders of the world, which he's already having a falling out with, the Working Families Party, which is a completely different group that has different agenda, getting things done, and then the DSA. And they're all going to try, he has to coalesce them all. That's a hard job for anybody, let alone a 34-year-old, 33-year-old politician.
And I just want to tell Kathy Weil, who represents nominally the business community through the New York City Partnership, and Kathy Hochul, who's an alleged moderate, you have no place at the table. Zero.
Yeah.
This is a food fight. This is a family feud among far lefties, and they control the state. And I'll tell you, if there's ever an advertisement to leave New York, this is it.
Well, Mamdani has been trying to moderate some of his positions.
Yeah, that's like,
Whether that's lip service or genuine, obviously, is open to interpretation. But he has been meeting with the likes of Kathy Weil. She thinks that maybe she can try and win him over or try and get him to work with people. Do you think that's just a short-term thing? And if he gets elected, that it's...
Well, I mean, that's the question. Right? That's what us political reporters are asking day in and day out. We're wondering who he's appointing, who he's bringing into his inner circle, who he's listening to. Is he going to be able to compromise and be able to change his, is he an ideologue or is he not? Is he going to be able to? No, yes. I mean, but he's 33. Is he going to come in and be able to say, like, I want to build housing, maybe I have to cap on with rent control or anything like that. Like, maybe it's an income cap, but that the Working Families Party would be against that. Like, there's a lot of moving pieces that people have explained to me of how he could get his progressive agenda done, but would also alienate people in the DSA. So how are you going to do that?
Or is it all a ploy to get more support for his rap career?
I think
that is the question that no one has been asking.
I think you hit it right on the head. He's got to do this also against the backdrop of the business community. Listen, I know people that have very high-end apartments that are trying to sell. They can't.
Yeah.
Right now, we're talking like
$5
million.
Right.
They cannot sell.
But even the buildings and stuff like that, where you'd think that they have like 50 apartments in them or whatever, they're having trouble either keep paying the bills or even or trying to find people to invest in them because the profit margins have kind of gone away with the work you need to do into it.
You're a guy on the ground. You're talking like this is a fait accompli. He's going to win.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I was having a conversation with a pretty plugged-in political person that's been on some of the campaigns, and it's like, we all thought post-Labor Day, let's see where it is. Let's see how it happens. Like, will Eric get on the ground? Eric is an amazing campaigner. He's out. He's great at doing real estate politics and everything like that. His numbers went down. You have Cuomo, who, what is he doing? He's stuck in the mud. He's hired he's hired a new campaign manager. He's hired a new social media manager.
But where is he?
He is. I mean, look, I think he's doing a lot more when it comes to social.
Yeah, but it's also like
I see a lot more from him now than I did.
It's like that "Hello, fellow kids," GIF. Like it feels so forced. I mean, the reason why Mamdani worked on social media is because it was genuine. It came off as genuine. I mean, where I am, I'd have people talking to me that had nothing to do with politics, and they're like, yeah, he's all my TikTok feed, and he's all my Instagram feed, and they're like, it makes it seem positive to me. And that's the other thing too, is that everybody's running negative against him.
Yeah.
You can't run negative, dark against light.
Maybe China shouldn't control the algorithm.
By the way,
TikTok.
I received this in my door today.
Are you serious?
One of the door knocks.
This is like, I don't think they knew their audience.
Yeah, that's not a very good campaign strategy. They're going after you.
Yes. Well, who knows?